I was a bit spoiled for choice today when it came to stock of the day. I was thinking Woolworths at first because, of course, it's getting smashed after it gave that food update. But the consensus was, and then I thought, oh, maybe Miso Blast. But boy, that's a roller coaster at the best of times. So I settled on PolyNovo because today, marking a record second quarter of sales in the United States, up more than 130% at 4.66 million compared to the same period last year. The market is loving the news, with shares making a real positive run this morning, up by 11.5%. So yeah, in the spirit of the upcoming holiday season, I thought let's go with something that's going for gold today. So what do our experts think of PolyNovo? Gary, I'll start with you here with me in studio.
Yeah, it looks quite good actually. Look, the big thing with this stock is that it's got $1 billion market cap, and it only had $29.3 million in revenue last year. So not much revenue there going forward here. So that's the downside, is that there's definitely some risk there with it being, there's no earnings there. I think break even last year, but this is a business that's growing really quickly. So I think the revenue is up, 50-70% last year. I think it's forecast to grow more than double this year. And consensus is still got some pretty strong growth moving ahead here. The update obviously today is obviously positive. The thing about COVID has is it's actually stopped a lot of these sort of medical businesses from getting on because of the restrictions in hospitals and operations procedures, and so things like like Ramsay Healthcare has been restricted. So there's some good underlying momentum here, and that sort of saying, okay, well, obviously the hospitals now are starting to open up globally, and PolyNovo and some of the other biotechs are probably can start getting on with business here. So that's probably the most positive aspect here, is not so much the sales growth, it's the fact that business is open again for some of these biotechs. So interesting technically, if you actually look at the stock for the last few years, 2019 low, they're around about $1.25. I think 2020 low around about $1.30. Just come back to 140. So big technical level, actually bounced off of here. So quite an important zone here. So looks quite good here, I think. Just because I think it's a stock that's got some really growth ahead of it, even though you got to put aside that $1 billion market cap and a small revenue line. But this is a company which will grow its revenue line pretty substantially next few years. So it'll have some positive momentum because if hospitals start sort of to reopen here, and and then these guys are, they're growing their head count, sales count, lots of new products coming on stream. So I think it's a stock that can get some momentum here as well. So I do like it. Looks like a buy here to me.
It's a buy from Gary Glover at Novus Capital. So yeah, COVID did constrain growth, Kevin, for this company. Look, we've got Macquarie for one, very positive about the medium term. It's actually got a $2.85 price target on the stock, but there's no denying that it is a competitive space. What it does is, these polymers that can be used to treat wounds and used in surgical scenarios, but you've got to presume that there will be others in the space that could be competitors. Is the lack of profitability just enough to make it fail the Teaminvest filters?
Yes, well, I'd have to say it is the lack of profitability. They've never made a profit. It's one of those businesses which we come across every now and then, which you think, I hope they succeed. I hope they do really well, because and they have certainly obviously been having sales and boosting their sales, getting their product out, because it looks like a great product. It's biodegradable. They say it's biodegradable as well. So obviously some of the newer technology that's in line with the way the world is going. But yes, as you say, Nadine, it hasn't made a profit. When it starts making a profit and has a history of profits and good profit growth, then it may well come into our filters. But until then, we'll keep an eye on it. And we would have to say it's a speculative stock from our point of view.
Thank you. So that is not going into the ausbiz portfolio, but Gary Glover likes it.